So, since everything seems to be synced up properly now, let's roll through the Past the Wire race by race with Anthony Fontaine. From the 6th race to the 11th, real quickly, and I'll issue this disclaimer. For those that undoubtedly will say that I am throwing rocks at Anthony Fontaine and the highly trafficked website of PastTheWire.com by doing this screenshot video. To them, I'll say and answer, of course, that I'm simply offering an example to you, the person that may be curious as to how horse racing works and how the game is played and how the persuasion is done in telling you which horse to bet, instead of simply informing you as to the horse's abilities to run the race today, and letting you make your own betting decision and play a game that you might want to get engaged in and play, and that you might enjoy. The horse racing industry doesn't seem to like that idea at all, and they seem to much more enjoy telling you and having a huge media that is in control to tell you which horse you should bet. And we'll take a look at that, and that's what this is about. And here we have the 6th race, the Sugar Swirl, a G3 stakes race. And these are Anthony's 4 selections for the race: 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And I'll also make note that if you just looked at the program, and somewhere on the bottom of that page you would see 4 numbers just like this, and those are the morning line top 4. And for over a century, they have won 75% of the races today. And you can know anybody can know that going in. One of these 4 horses. Here we have it, number 4, the favorite. Number 3, the second choice. Then, let's see, we've got number 2, the third choice. And number 9, the 4th choice. One of those 4 will win 7.5 races and possibly 8 races on this 11-race card today. And what we have here with the handicapper, toutsman, persuader is the effort to persuade you to bet number 9. Number 9, Heaven Has My Nicky, will appreciate the drop in class today, as if the horse even has any idea what class it's racing in. Okay. And her record at the distance is impressive. So here we have a horse with an impressive past performance record at the distance of 6 furlongs. Well, great. What's so impressive about it? I mean, here we see the ability to run this distance today, right here, expressed as a number with Ability X ratings, 317, and the early speed from the last race that we know of or have, 105, which is tremendously high early speed. And of course, these speed ratings, these guys with the unique perspectives using speed ratings, they're always very impressed with this tremendous high early speed. Of course, we have number 2, which Anthony doesn't have in his 4 here, but is the 3rd morning line choice. and about 20 to 22% chance to win today. And we can know that going in. It's been going on for a long time. Number 2 is a 263. And if number 2 ran this kind of early speed, 105, we could suppose that number 2 would run about a 303, which a 300 for 6 furlongs is almost perfect for the 3 sections or segments of a 6 furlong race. Being a quarter mile apace, 2 furlongs, 2 furlongs, 2 furlongs, 2 furlongs. Okay. At that kind of early speed, number 2 is a threat to step that out almost perfectly with a 303 rating. But doubtful that these horses, we see the par up here, the Ability X ratings par is 97, and we have 3 horses in here that last time went at that exact early speed, one of which is number 4, the morning line favorite. And so let's take a look. And Anthony would like to persuade you to just bet number 9, that fast horse. You know, that's the speed rating perspective there that isn't very unique at all. But then we also have the second pick, Stormy Embrace will lurking in the wings. I'm sure that is intended to be will be lurking in the wings, waiting to pounce as the speed backs up. So here we have something that doesn't make a lot of sense. Bet this real speedy horse, but when it backs up, be aware that number 6 will be waiting to pounce when the speed backs up. Okay. So, you know, what was that about likelihood? This runner has proven to be formidable and has a good record at this track, so warrants serious consideration in this spot. Well, okay, we're going to give number 6 serious consideration. That might be correct, but, you know, number 6 is the Ability X Ratings key horse, and the Ability X Ratings key horse is not a selection, and it's not my selection or pick, but it is offered as a key to understanding the various abilities involved in the race. And of course, since Anthony makes number 6 his second choice, well, we must be on to something there. Although number 6 is the 5th morning line choice. But the rating suggests that perhaps we might want to consider those lower ratings. And we have a pair of the same rating as the morning line favorite. Number 1 is here at 20 to 1 morning line. Same Ability X rating, and just 1 notch lower on early speed, and from the last race. So we might want to look at number 1. But if we notice at number 2, the Ability X ratings simple pick, also not necessarily, not a selection, not one of my picks, not my pick, not the horse I'm going to bet or anything else. It's just simply to let you know that this is the lowest rating at the highest early speed out of this whole bunch, to let you know that, so that maybe you might take that into consideration, and you might also take into consideration the slowest horse, early speed-wise, in the entire race at 20 to 1 morning line is the same Ability X rating of 263. Again, 263 less than the morning line favorite, and the lower number is generally a good thing. It's considerable. It's meaningful. It means something. Something for you to consider as you try to decide whether there is a good bet here for you to make or not. And of course, I always recommend that you look at the horses physically in the post-parade and warm-ups. And as we see right here, the third pick, Anthony's third pick, Blazin' Betsy, steps way up and faces the best field of her young career. However, the trainer-jockey combo has a very high strike rate, so warrants a flyer in this spot. So Anthony's saying, hey, you should take a flyer on number 5 in this spot. That's, again, the slowest early speed horse from the last race in the bunch, 94 early speed, which isn't really so bad, but it's much less than 105. But hey, 21 morning line, and then again, same ability X rating as the highest early speed, lowest rating horse in the race, and also lower than that morning line favorite. So these are the points that you might want to consider. These are the horses that you might want to look at and examine and think about. And think about how this race is going to run. Slow and fast. Fast and slow. That's what makes the horse race. And the horse's execution of their ability will play a big role. And while we're talking about what's likely, that is very, very likely. And but there it is. Just those two pieces of information that anybody would find very valuable in making an intelligent betting decision. And let me say also, no racetrack in North America puts together more competitive races than Gulfstream Park. And they'll be doing it for the entire winter meeting, January, February, and March. So that'll be going on, and they're good at it. And you'll be able to see that as we go through these Rainbow Pick 6 races on this card. We also wanted to get this in here. This is going to be released by Christmas for any gift giving you might have in mind for perhaps your horse racing fan or potential winning bettor that you would like to gift with a really great deal on at Christmas time. And that's Winning a Living, the latest ebook from AtHomeHorsePlayer. Winning a Living Betting on Horse Racing at $99. And that one features Ability X ratings for Gulfstream Park for January, February, and March. That's 3 months of racing action, prime top shelf racing action, where you can also win a living. And this ebook covers all the ways that you can be a consistent winner by understanding and being able to predict how the horse's ability to run today's race or the ability to run today will impact the results for you today. So that one's just going up, and you can get that right here at the Square Up store, HorsePlayer, AtHomeHorsePlayer, Square Up store. That URL is right there. So you might want to go over and order that and get that going for the new year of 2020, and be ready and able to do a bunch of winning at horse racing. Thank you very much. Well, you know, a lot of people come to me and they say, hey, as the #1 analyst in all of North American horse racing, what do you say to these people that charge that you never give anyone any information before the race? And what do you say to them? And generally, I say, well, I published Ability X ratings over here. AtHomeHorsePlayer.com, Ability X ratings before the race. There they are for yesterday, December 14th, 2019. And I published those, and I also made mention before the race in a screenshot video where we went over Anthony Fontaine's picks for the pick 6 races in particular. And here we have the results for the 6th, where the morning line favorite that I mentioned in that pre-race screenshot video, and came in first, number 4, and number 8 came in second, and number 7 came in third. And I did mention that those were the 3 horses that were coming off of runs, and these are their ratings at those at that early speed, and that is the par early speed for this distance, 6 furlongs on the dirt. And those 3 came in first, second, and third. A $1 exacta, 4, 8, $35.90, a $2 quinella, $40, a 50-cent trifecta, $427.95. And of course, if anyone had a desire to add the Ability X Rating Simple Pick to that 3-horse group, there is a 10-cent superfecta that paid $530.02. And generally, I also say to them that I certainly hope that their mother was uninjured by the handicapper stampede to the cashier's window to cash their $2.80 to win tickets on the 7th race. So I say that to them also. Thank you very much. And we'll take a look at the 7th, the My Charmer. And here are Anthony's selections up here. And let me get my At-Home Horse Player Ability X ratings back up here so that we can see them side by side right along as we go. And the 7th race is the My Charmer, and these are Anthony's selections right here. His favorite is number 8. Number 8, Joy Nadira, I guess. Makes U.S. debut and attracts the services of J.R. Velasquez. Runner was off for more than a year, however, has worked splendidly. Okay, yeah. How about a little more persuasion for this race? Trainer just had his best mare retired after scoring in the Breeders' Cup Distaff, and this one may be a replacement for that top runner in the barn. Well, what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? What do we care about any of that? I mean, what does that mean? How much is that worth? Okay? How do we weigh that out? The trainer just had his best mare retired after scoring in the Breeders' Cup Distaff. Oh, what is that? How many points should we award for that? And, are you, because this is another foreign horse making a U.S. debut. We don't have a North American record, really, to measure the horse with. So, but we do have the Ability X rating of the horse's recent workouts and all that kind of stuff. Well, with it being off for an entire year. And it is close to 200, which 200 is our benchmark for that, and we're just a little short. But you might want to, and you can, and I always recommend these questions about runner was off for more than a year, has worked splendidly. Okay, that's just somebody's opinion. And what the hell is splendidly? What? Okay, take a look at this horse in the post parade and the warm-ups, and you can see in about 30 seconds whether this horse is in good condition or not, with it being off for a year. And that would be advisable. And the likelihood is that the horse, being a foreign horse, isn't going to mix well with these American runners anyway. But you never know. But I would take a look at that horse physically before I made any decisions. It would definitely make that part of any decision I might make. Mitchell Road, number 1, has speed and class and would appear to be the horse to beat. Well, I thought you... Okay, this one... all right, wait, I don't know. Either number 8 or number 1 appears to be the horse to beat. This runner will need to avoid a destructive duel. I always like that. Let's build the excuse into the persuasion. So that way, if there is a destructive duel or something, we can say that was a destructive duel, so that's why my horse lost. It's like, I bet number 1, and I bet the right horse is just he got into a destructive duel. So everything's cool, everything's great, except, I lost my money. Which, that's one of the things that the toutsman and persuader is trying to accomplish. But let's take a look at number 1, the 2-1 morning line favorite, Ability X rating of 63, which is a good rating for this type of race. But then we have another 63 up here, number 9, and number 9 is the one that has early speed. Number 1 isn't in particular a slouch, but here you've got a 12-1 fast horse with the same Ability X rating for this distance today. And then you've got number 7 here. Is he on the list at all? No. 69 and 70. Those are both very good numbers, and these are very good early speeds. 84 for this distance. As you can see, the par is 85. But okay, we've got 6 on the list up here as the third pick. So great, and he's a second morning line choice, and number 7 seems to be the third morning line choice, and not even mentioned. And now where do we go? And number 6 for the ever dangerous Wizard of Turf, Chad Brown. Ask a few handicappers, and they might tell you that Chad Brown has never actually lost a race on the grass. So that is number 6, our 70 there. And if 70 is a good rating, what about number 10, 55? That's a pretty good rating too at 20-1. And don't forget number 5 at the 72 over here. You might want to take a look at that horse. And of course, while you're looking at horses trying to make an intelligent betting decision, I would suggest that maybe if you knew about number 3 and its Ability X rating, second lowest in the bunch, and decent early speed for a grass race, and maybe it'll touch on the too fast side, but it's not too bad. 10-1. And what about this minus 19? A really low number is supposed to be good on the grass. 20-1. Number 2. Number 2 is Anthony's got number 2 down here as 4th, so he must be aware that this horse has a very, very low minus Ability X rating, minus 19. Wonder where he gets that from. But anyway, he got in there for 4th. So once again, if number 2 happens to win the race, and let's remember these are rainbow pick 6 races where everybody really wants some bomb to come in somewhere. Maybe two of them. I mean, if you were to play that Rainbow Six and you only bet horses that make sense according to handicapping criteria, you're not going to win that jackpot. Okay? The jackpot is going to go to the bettor that is able to bet horses that have the ability to win, but don't appear likely by handicapping criteria or speed ratings. Well, the speed ratings are terrible on this horse. Well, that might be a horse you want to put in to your Rainbow Pick 6, because that's what the jackpot will go to. One or two horses that aren't likely to win by handicapping criteria. So, when you're able to bet the ability of the horse, you got a shot at that Rainbow Pick 6. I mean, just to give you the cliff notes on that. Mitchell Road leads every step of the My Charmer Road at Gulfstream. And that's from the highly trafficked and tremendous, fabulous Past the Wire website that you find at this URL. And, of course, Past the Wire, home of all that is horse racing, of course, except for the ability of the horse. And here in this story about the amazing, tremendous, fantastic win of Mitchell Road in the My Charmer Stakes. And by the way, the Acceler Fund is quite the worthy cause. That's Acceler there. Just wanted to make mention of that as it zips on by, because I'm about to cover it up with the Ability X ratings chart for the 7th race with the results, where we see that indeed the 2 to 5 favorite Mitchell Road did indeed win right there, paying $280, and that also the matching Ability X rating of 63 at 94 early speed that went to post at 20 to 1 odds from a morning line of 12 to 1 came in second, paying a good 3 times the $280 amount that Mitchell Road paid. Of course, number 9 placing. And then the other horse that was mentioned by me in the preview as being amongst that group in ability, number 7, comes in third, and that results in a $1 exacta of $14.40. For people that may have been seeking some way to get a little better pay on betting this race, those few bettors that may have looked at exacta considerations with 1-9 and Quinella situations. $2 Quinella pays about 14 to 1, and doesn't make any difference which way the two horses are, first and second. That's what the Quinella is about. So that's a nice 14 to 1 result, as opposed to the 80 cents available from a 2 to 5 win bet. And then, of course, the 50-cent trifecta, consisting of number 1, number 9, and number 7. That 3-horse group again in the 60s for Ability X ratings, and with Ability X ratings, a 1, 2, 3 trifecta, 1, 9, 7 And that 50-cent trifecta paid about 14 to 1 also, maybe just a touch, just a little bit less than 14 to 1. But those are some ways that a bettor might be able to get a little more pay out of a race where that bettor is informed as to the ability of the horses and is able to consider that ability and how it will or may be executed in today's race, and how the results will be impacted by all of that. And so, there it is. Let's go to the 8th. Oh, Pink Sands, number 4, returns to the surface. She relishes. This horse relishes this surface. What is that surface? Dirt. 1 mile on the dirt. 8 furlongs, dirt. Dirt. This horse relishes dirt. Okay, well, I guess that's another thing. It's just pulled out of the sky by the persuading handicapper. I guess he can see it in his speed rating somewhere that this horse relishes the dirt and has been working nicely for this event, whatever that means. With a good trip, this runner will be rolling late and will be tough to deny. Well, okay, there we go. The built-in excuse again, with a good trip. Well, what if the horse doesn't get a good trip? Oh, God, well, I guess I'll lose my money if whoever's handing out the trips this afternoon doesn't hand a good trip to number 4. And, of course, number 4 is 8 to 1, nowhere around being the favorite, morning line-wise. And it does have the lowest Ability X rating. So, I wonder where Anthony is coming up with that. I mean, he's putting on top some very low Ability X rating horses. Would seem to be what I would want to look at is more of these at par. The par is 290, of course. We could, since this is the Rampart G3 Stakes event, we could cut that par in half to 100 like we would do if it were the Cigar Mile. But, the Cigar Mile last week, we had a few horses in that race that were just over 100. Here we don't have that situation. We only have the lowest one is 123. So maybe we ought to leave that par alone and figure, hey, this group is not actually graded stakes material, all of them. Maybe number 9 is very fast. 2 to 1 morning line favorite. Maybe number 4 is. But getting back to likelihood, we know number 3 at 200 and number 1 at 201 extremely fast, 100 early speed last. Those two are likely to run a very good full race, to be able to run all the way to the wire. And number 3 is 20 to 1 morning line. Is he on the list anywhere? No. Okay. And number 1's in there for second, most likely just because of the early speed, which, we might wonder if at that early speed this horse actually has that good full run ability of 201 for 8 furlongs. It could be hard to beat 15 to 1 morning line. And these are some other things we might want to consider. And that horse is the second choice. Unholy Alliance had to need that last outing. I don't know where he gets that from either, as this runner was off since February and in a new barn. Willing to forgive that non-performance. He calls that a non-performance, a par run for the distance at 100 early speed. Oh, he calls that a non-performance. I guess that's another thing his speed ratings are telling him there. And yeah, let's not forget, everybody uses speed ratings, and they typically use them, all of them use them the same way. And number 6, Multibello. Let's see. Number 6 is the Ability X Ratings Key Horse, 94 early speed, which is getting down there much closer to the par, along with number 8 and 10. And he says, Anthony says Hernandez, and this may be Brian Hernandez Jr., is very good at getting the most out of his mounts. Well, I don't know about that, but he is very good at knowing how to step out a distance on a horse. And maybe getting that horse to step out that distance properly, from the gate to the wire. And so, those might be some other things you want to think about, rather than just follow the persuasion. And number 4, White Sands, or Pink Sands, excuse me, wins that race. The lowest Ability X rating, and getting down there toward the good ratings of the much better horses we saw in the Cigar Mile last week, and 123, and of course the severe pounding in the odds, post time being 7-2, 3.5 to 1 from 8 to 1 morning line, gives an indication of what happens when bettors have a good measure of ability to make their bets with. And of course, the Ability X Rating Simple Pick brings up the rear, coming in 4th with a 131 there, and very high early speed, falling back to 4th. And there we have it, the results of the 8th race at Gulfstream Park on Saturday. And I believe this was the one and only top pick of Anthony Fontaine's to win on the day. For the 8th race, and that brings us to the 9th of Fort Lauderdale, which is a G2 stakes race. And let's see. What do we got? Number 6, Up the Ante. Has the right rider in Paco Lopez. Let's see. Number 6, Up the Ante. Oh, hey. Number 6 is the lowest Ability X rating out of the whole bunch again. And, if we wanted to adjust this par to an actual stakes event, we might make that par 50-85 to be more accurate. But we've only got one, number 6, and then here again, Anthony's got that horse on top. Number 6, the lowest Ability X rating, but in amongst 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the 70s, which is also that's a good number for 9 furlongs on a turf, and it's very good around that par early speed of 85, which you have number 8, which might be closest to that. And then, of course, number 5, which is also close. And then, of course, the Ability X Ratings Key Horse. Hey, he's in there too, 72. And then you've got the pesky 104, 4-1, number 7. He's in there for 4th again. The pesky full run kind of horse there. He's in there for 4th. So, if he manages to place, of course, Anthony will have the credit rolling in again. Hey, I picked that horse. And of course, that does not happen as Up the Ante, number 6, runs up the track, and the winner is one of the slower and more full run ratings in the 70s, number 4. 8-1 Morning Line hammered down to 3-1 by those in the know. Showing once again that apparently there are a few people out there betting on horse races that know a little something about the ability of the horse. And of course, Anthony's third choice, number 8, comes in second, paying 5-2 to do so. And then number 5, the morning line favorite at 72, comes in third. So that's a 79 rating for winner, 74 rating for second, and 72 rating between 82 early speed and 84 early speed. Coming in first, second, and third for the Fort Lauderdale G2. And that brings us to Harlan's Holiday, another G3. Number 1, Prince Lucky, has shown an affinity for this surface in the past. Well, how about that persuasion? And will appreciate, the horse will appreciate these competitors. Okay. Then some of the others he's been facing. Horses drawn perfectly. Inside looks like the one to beat to cash. Wow. Yeah, and here we go. A lower Ability X rating, but why aren't we... is anybody going to look at the number 5, or are we just going to try to persuade you to bet the favorite? What about number 5 over here? A 15. What about number 4? I mean, I think, 4 makes the list for third, and 6 makes the list for second. But then, number 1 is Anthony's favorite, and you got number 3 here at 44. And again, number 8 at 49. And under the par early speed. And just like we said in the last race, for the Harlan's Holiday, a G3 event, we might want to make this run par 50. And then why no persuasion to bet on number 5? I mean, number 5 may be the second choice here, but Anthony's got number 5 down here as fourth again. Of course, number 5 could win the race, and Anthony will get credit because he slid him in there for fourth. Isn't that great? And that's the way it works. That's the way it works. I mean, Anthony, if Anthony actually has 2 of his top picks win today, well, that'd be fantastic. And 3 would be tremendous. Great. I mean, let's throw a parade. But he likely won't come close to the 7 or 8 out of 11 that the morning line top 3 will do. And, maybe we'll follow up on that. Well, apparently, handicappers, and in particular, I guess, speed handicappers, couldn't see any ability for number 5 here in the Harlan's Holiday. And, of course, couldn't see any ability for number 7 either. Although Bodie Express, number 6, the Ability X ratings key horse, does manage to come in third, a little bit in front of number 3, the 44 there. Very, very similar rating to the number 1 pick, number 1 there. Anthony's number 1 pick. And, by the way, Anthony had one number one pick win its race all day long, so that's 1 out of 11 number one pick. And so there you go for Harlan's Holiday. A $1 exacta 5.7, a little shy of $200. $2 Quinella 5.7, 266.60. A 50-cent trifecta 5.76, 474.60, and then of course a 10-cent superfecta 5.763, $542.06, and that was very nice there. And as the ability and knowing a little something about the ability of the horses pays off once again. And let's take a look at the race 11. Number 12, Campagno comes off a freshening after being claimed. Trainer drops in price from a bit from claim. However, runner has been working well for this return spot. Oh, boopity boppity boop. Would appear to be fit and ready for a good performance. Post is difficult to overcome. I don't know where he gets that idea. But there he is in the middle of the chart at 59. So, if that's a legit Ability X rating for that horse, what about number 1 here at 58? And it might be a little too fast for the grass, but then what about 11? Nice solid 70 there. I don't see 11 on the list. And then, of course, you got a pair of 86s and an 83. You got number 4. A very competitive race here. And then you've got the par runner, number 3. You've got, slid the old par runner in 4th place. So, again, that might be the saver in case the good full run wins the race, which is always likely. But if number 3 wins the race, and the public, who Anthony's persuading or trying to persuade the most, ignores number 3. He could go up 10-1. Could go up to 15. And that's what's going on. That's a game that's being played on you. And of course, your best response is to just play your own game and get in there and make an intelligent betting decision. And if the race looks just a little too competitive for you to bet confidently, and maybe the best bet in this thing might be at number 8, the Ability X Ratings key horse here. At 51, and appropriate early speed from the last race. And here we have the results of the 11th race, where the horse himself, I guess, number 11, answers the question. What about number 11 with this nice 70 rating over here? As number 11 wins, pays 5-2. Again, another big bet down on the day, since number 11 has a 10-1 morning line. And then, of course, Anthony's number 1 pick, Campagno, number 12, is second. And then we've got number 1, the Ability X Ratings, a simple pick, number 1, with that great rating and high early speed. Third, and the key horse, number 8, which I guess is King Orb over here, is 4th. And, of course, number 8, the Ability X Ratings key horse, is the morning line favorite. And that gives you a $1 exacta of $29.60, a $2 Quinella of $31.80, a 50-cent trifecta of $104.65, and the 10-cent superfecta is worth $90.83 for another great day of horse racing at Gulfstream Park for those few people who understand and have reasonable measure of the horse's ability for the race today. Winning a Living, the latest ebook from AtHomeHorsePlayer. Winning a Living Betting on Horse Racing at $99, and that one features Ability X ratings for Gulfstream Park for January, February, and March. That's 3 months of racing action, prime top shelf racing action, where you can also win a living. And this ebook covers all the ways that you can be a consistent winner by understanding and being able to predict how the horse's ability to run today's race or the ability to run today will impact the results for you today. So that one's just going up, and you can get that right here at the Square Up store, HorsePlayer. AtHomeHorsePlayer Square Up store. That URL is right there. So you might want to go over and order that and get that going for the new year of 2020, and be ready and able to do a bunch of winning at horse racing. Thank you very much. Think about it. Give it some thought. Analyze the race. And remember, the results will be a combination of fast, slow, and middle. But basically, fast, high early speed, and slow, low early speed. And that's what makes the results. And how the race is executed, and whether the trainers and the jockeys have a good idea for how to execute the race today. So these are the things to think about if you want to make an intelligent betting decision. And always remember, there are many times where a no bet betting decision is the most intelligent betting decision you can make. So with that, I'll say so long, and I appreciate you joining me for this exciting episode, and I look forward to the next one. And I'll see you then. Thank you very much.